How much trust do you have in the support that you're getting for the grief, the loss of your child? How much 180 videos on my YouTube channel. I just realized today I've actually have not done a proper introduction to you guys. And so it's really important for me that you know who you're dealing with. So my name is Azher Rubbani and I'm a grieving dad. And I'm also a grief guide, a father of 4 adult living kids, and a business entrepreneur. In the last 21 years since the death of my son Hashim, I have observed my own grief journey as well as other fathers who have specifically experienced the loss of their child. And so with 21 years behind me, I felt that this was the right time for me to be able to put something out there in the world to support fathers who are going through a similar journey as I've been through and I'm currently going through. You see, I made a promise to my son all those years ago that I'd do something worthwhile, and that promise was put on the back burner for many, many years, actually 2 decades. But with over 20 years experience now, I'm in a position to be able to be a grief guide, to help other men who are suffering, who are going through, who are struggling, to understand their grief, to understand the confusion that the loss has created in their life. And the fact is that this kind of grief impacts every facet of a man's life, from his personal perspective of himself, his self-worth, to his personal relationships at home with his partner or wife, with his children and extended family. It impacts and infiltrates into the workspace, whether you are a business leader like I was, or whether you are a simple employee or a team lead, or you work for somebody but you're a CEO or a director. The grief that you are going through, it impacts everything from a day-to-day basis, such as looking at numbers, analyzing a spreadsheet, reading emails, or simply deciding on a particular decision that needs to be made because your team is waiting for some guidance from yourself. So this is an extremely confusing, foggy time to find yourself in after losing your son or daughter. And ultimately, over the last 20 years, what I've been looking for is a safe space for a dad to be able to set his grief down, to be able to think, to be able to get to a place to breathe, to find some relief for his grief. And that's been really, really tough to do, because what is it that every father of a grieving child is looking for? And it doesn't matter which aspect of life I talk about, whether it's a personal, whether it's professional, whether it's relational. There are 5 principles that I want to really run through with you that are the 4 core 5 principles that I have built into the private space that I offer to fathers. It's based around the S.T.I.L.L methodology. So the S stands for being seen, being validated, being heard for your grief without having to explain yourself. The T stands for to be able to tell your story in a private, safe environment, in a structured framework. The I stands for to investigate, to find a way forward where you're not having to sit in guilt, shame, or fear, or to have to explain yourself to somebody else. The first L stands for linked, to be connected with yourself, with your child, and your living loved ones, and to be connected with other fathers who've gone through the same ordeal. And the second L stands for led, to be led by a dad who's gone through the same lived experience. Now, that second L is the basis, is the foundation of the space that you are looking for. Why? Because you may be receiving therapy, and you may have read a numerous amount of books about where you are right now. But having somebody, a guide, standing next to you who's been through the same ordeal, through the same experience as you have, something shifts, something changes in that environment. Permission levels change. There is no judgment and there is no performing to be done. With a grief guide who's lived through the same experience, through the same loss, And there are other fathers there who share the same pain without any explanation, without any judgment. So drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what you think. And if anything that I have shared with you today resonates with where you are, I've dropped a link down in the description and pinned to the comments that will allow you to learn more about this private space for grieving dads. Because ultimately my aim is to meet you exactly where you are, not to fit you into a one-fits-all solution, because there is no solution really to grief. It's to meet you where you are so that you don't have to explain to somebody like myself, a grieving dad, how you're feeling and how you're holding up and how you're managing. So if this resonates with you, subscribe to the channel to actually receive more information, more experiences and insights, and let's start a conversation.